The update query is one of 4 action queries in Access. Using it, we can create a selection of our records that all require a specific update or modification to their data, and then update all of those records throughout our entire database. The update query will not only breeze through the task, it'll prevent any data entry errors that typically crop up when manually modifying large amounts of records. Before we begin, if you haven't already done so, please take a moment and review the previous movie on creating a backup of your database. So let's go ahead and take a look at creating an action query that'll update our employees' records. In this example, I want to apply a cost of living increase to all employees' salaries of 2%. We can do that by going up to the Create tab and starting a new query in Design View. I'll go ahead and add in the Employees table and close the Show Table window. Let's add a couple of fields to our query. I'm going to add in Employee ID, first and last name, and our salary field. Now at this point, we can go ahead and run this query or view its data sheet in order to see the records that will be affected. So here's all of my employees. Looking down at the bottom, I can see that I have 741 of them. I can see their employee ID number, their first and last name, and their salary. And this is the current salary. Let's go ahead and go back into Design View. Now over here in the Design tab of the ribbon, we have this section called Query Type. For everything that we've been working with so far, we've been in a Select query. You can see that this button here is active. The action queries are all of the icons here that have the exclamation mark. So we have Make Table, Append, Update, and this one over here, Delete. Any of the queries with the exclamation mark are the action queries that will actually modify our data in the underlying data tables. Let's go ahead and switch our query to this Update query option. When I do so, you'll notice that the grid updates down here, and we get this new row that says Update To. Now that we're in an action query mode, pressing the Datasheet button up here on the top and the Run button become two very different things. Pressing the View Datasheet button will show me any records that are about to change. Now, because I haven't said anything in this Update To row down here, Access is giving me an error. So I'm just going to go ahead and say OK to this. So viewing the datasheet will show me the records that are about to change. Running the query will apply those changes to my underlying data tables. So keep that in mind moving forward. Once we're in an update query, a make table query, an append query, or a delete query, viewing the datasheet and running the query become two very, very different things. OK, let's go ahead and see how we can update our employees' salaries. I'm going to come down here to this Update To row here, and underneath salary, we're going to put in the formula for how we're going to generate the new values. I'm going to go ahead and right-click and go into the builder. Here we can specify the formula. We want to increase our salaries all by 2%. We can do that by finding the data in our Kinetico database. We'll go into the tables and into the employees table. I'll find the salary field here and double-click on it to add it to the top. Now we just need to multiply that by 1.02. That'll increase the salary by 2%. Let's go ahead and say OK. Now my update query says that we're going to update just our salary column. Because I don't have any updates in the last, first, or employee ID fields, those aren't going to change. The update to the salary column is going to be the current salary multiplied by the value of 1.02. That'll increase everything 2%. Now if I press the View Datasheet button, we'll see the records that are about to change. In this case, just the salary column. Now unfortunately, it doesn't show me the change that's about to be made. It just shows me the current state of the data that's going to change. Let's go back into Design View, and we'll press Run to apply those changes. We're going to get this warning dialog box that says we're about to update 741 rows. Once you click Yes, you can't use the Undo command to reverse the changes. So this is a good time to make sure that your backup is in place. If you're sure that you want to update these records, go ahead and press Yes. Access goes ahead and makes those changes to the underlying data tables. Now don't be surprised that you don't see a dialog message telling you that it was successfully changed. These records have been changed. Now you don't want to go ahead and try running this query again, because it'll just modify the data on top of the first modification that we just did. So I'm going to make sure I click No here. We can go ahead and view our data tables now. I'll double click on Employees, and we can scroll over here to the salary column, and we can see that indeed the salaries have all been increased by 2%. So that's how we can quickly change all of the records in a table. But what if we just wanted to adjust a subset of records? Well, everything that we've learned about using criteria in our queries applies to the update query as well. Let's take a look at an example of that. Let's say that we wanted to apply a 10% price increase on all of our deluxe products. Let's go ahead and close out the employees table, and I'm going to close out this query here that we just built. I'm not going to save any changes to it. Now, if we take a look at our products table here, we'll see that over here on the right, we have a column called Product Line, and here and there we have a few products that are labeled as deluxe products. We want to increase their suggested retail price here by 10%. Let's go ahead and build an update query that'll do that. I'll go to the Create tab and choose Query Design. Let's go ahead and add in our products table, and we'll close the Show Table window. Now, technically, the only fields that we need to add are the ones that are going to be changing and the ones that we might want to filter by. So I don't need to add in product ID or any other fields. I just need to add in the suggested retail price. That's the price that we're going to change. And the product line. This is the value that we want to filter by. Let's go ahead and go down here to the criteria row, and I'll type in deluxe. Now I need to change this into an update query. I'll go up here to the ribbon and click this button here. And then I'll come down to the update to row below suggested retail, and I'll right click and say build. And then we'll build out our little formula. We'll go into our database, into our tables, into our products table, and I'll double click on suggested retail. Finally, I'll multiply that by 1.1. That'll increase the prices by 10%. Let's go ahead and say OK. And now if I view the data sheet, it'll show me just the records that are about to change. These represent the prices of the 3 products that are deluxe. Let's go ahead and go back into Design View, and then we'll run the query. We're about to update 3 rows. We can say yes, and our prices have been updated. So data may need to be updated for any number of reasons. You may change vendors and have updated product ID numbers. Your business may move, change names, or get merged with another company, and all of your addresses and phone numbers or email addresses may need to be altered. Whatever the reason, you'll be able to quickly and easily keep your database up to date using an update query.